The Operating System, Protocols for Neurodivergent Coping by Empathy on Wheels. Hey team, this is Empathy on Wheels, and this is my neurodivergent operating system. I've been building it since third grade because as a kid, the world did not come with instructions for people like me. So I literally started writing my own. Decades later, I'm still writing it. This system runs on three things: empathy, gratitude, and efficiency. There are 57 protocols built from my real-life experiences, not theory. Some of this will resonate immediately, some won't land until the right moment. No one can agree with everything. Take what fits, leave what doesn't, but take some. Section 1, Execution, Planning, and Productivity Mindset. I look at my system from one angle. If I could go back in time and give myself some advice, even if I didn't listen, these are the things I would tell myself. These are also the things that have manifested the most peace, love, and success in my life. Number 1, if something takes less than 2 minutes, just do it. If something takes longer than 2 minutes, write it down immediately. Thank you, David Allen, GTD. Don't think in terms of things to do. Think in terms of next actions to accomplish what higher goal. Ask yourself, what physical action in space needs to occur to make this happen? Learn to structure your thinking using an operations order format. Break anything you have to do down into a situation, mission, execution, service and support, command and signal, public affairs, and environmental and sustainability considerations. You can apply this to any task, project, or idea. It forces clarity and prevents blind spots. A good civilian-friendly reference is FEMA ICS training, Incident Command System. It mirrors this structure in a practical, non-military context. Use backward planning. Start with the end state in mind, then ask what has to happen right before that, and what has to happen right before that. And keep working backward, writing things down until you reach where you are today. Then execute forward by asking at each step, what next physical action in space needs to occur to make this happen? Anything that must occur at a specific date or time goes on your calendar immediately. Learn to use voice to text to enter notes, tasks, and calendar appointments on your phone without touching the keyboard. Speed matters, capture matters, use technology wisely. Always have something to write with and write on, be it digital or analog. I still use index cards and leave a pile of cards in front of my computer. Make this system as simple or as elaborate as you're comfortable with. Use a data and information harvesting product like Notion, Evernote, or whatever fits your style best to capture as much as you can. When you get up from a table, a seat, a computer, workstation, or anywhere that you're transitioning, take a few steps and then make looking back at the area you just left a habit. Think of it as the look back. Section 2, Empathy, Relationships, and Human Interaction. This section is about people, and for a neurodivergent person, these are often the hardest part. Not because we don't care, often we care more than anyone, but because this social operating system that most people run automatically, we have to learn it manually. Research, study, and practice all forms of empathy. Hint, there's 4 types. Set specific repeating reminders on your schedule to send encouraging text messages or emails to your kids, spouse, parents, friends, workmates, or anyone important in your life, including employees. Never meet a stranger. Cautiously give people the benefit of the doubt to get to know them without exposing your own jugular. Never cheat on your spouse or significant other. When you look back after 20 or 25 years of fidelity, it is something that you'll be more proud of than any number of conquests. Don't be afraid to block, avoid, or create distance from the most toxic people in your life. It is unlikely that they are going to fix themselves, and it is far more unlikely that you're going to fix them. Creating space is sometimes the most courageous choice. It's not cowardice. Section 3, Leadership, Thinking, and Decision Making. This section is about how you think and how you lead. For a neurodivergent person, these are often the areas of greatest natural advantage, buried under the most unnecessary self-doubt. Because we were told for so long that the way we think is wrong, we sometimes forget it can actually be our superpower, but only if you build the right protocols around it and practice. At work, you don't have to be the boss to be the leader. Being the knowledge leader is just as powerful, if not more powerful, than authority. Investigate the angle of enlightened self-interest in virtually all of your endeavors. Be willing to suspend judgment when encountering new information and make fact-checking a habit before making up your mind. It doesn't make you indecisive, it makes you informed. Take psychometric tests, valid ones if you can, to help identify your personality type, thinking styles, cognitive profile, and critical thinking abilities, and research becoming a super forecaster. No test is absolute and no test is perfect, but testing moves you in the direction of objectivity and can give you personal insight that no one else in your life may be able to provide. Learn to use AI as a force multiplier, not as a crutch or replacement. Section 4, Situational Awareness and Personal Safety. This section is one people don't expect in a system built around empathy. But situational awareness is one of the most empathetic things you can develop, because when you know how to take care of yourself, you can become someone who can take care of others. My mental motto is keep your head on a swivel, literally, like you're walking across a parking lot, but be positive and approachable at the same time. This is a literal extension of keeping your head on a swivel. Study situational awareness. This is a literal extension of keeping your head on a swivel. Even a weapons safety course or basic first aid course can be a good primer. Consider joining a neighborhood watch group, a civilian emergency response team, or volunteering with organizations like the Red Cross to learn how to take care of yourself and others in a disaster. Consider turning on GPS tracking on your device so you can share it with a trusted person so someone always knows where you are and there's a record of your location if ever needed. Section 5, Physical Conditioning, Energy, and Longevity. This section is about your body, and I say this as someone who is not a professional athlete and never has been. This is not about peak performance. This is about the machine that carries everything else you are doing. A neurodivergent brain running on a neglected body is operating at a fraction of its capability. Pick some form of physical activity that is demanding based on your capabilities and do it consistently throughout the day. For me, I do Hindu squats throughout the day, even while working at my desk. When I'm on the phone, I walk around and frequently drop down and do deep squats. I also regularly do shoulder shrugs. The exact movement doesn't matter as much as the consistency. If you have limited mobility, it could just be overhead claps, lifting your knees, shoulder rotations, or anything within your capability. The key is consistent movement. Set repeating reminders on your phone or device to prompt these actions until they become automatic. Treat this the same way as you treat everything else in your system. Ask yourself mentally, what next physical action in space needs to occur? Then move your body. Your physical energy is directly tied to your mental clarity, emotional control, and long-term capability. Section 6, Recovery, Stress, and Sustainability. This section took me longer than it should have to take seriously because neurodivergent people are often running at a higher baseline than people around them. Burnout doesn't just happen. It accumulates quietly until all of a sudden it doesn't. Sleep is not optional. It is a performance multiplier. Regardless of your age, your gender, or your weight, get a sleep study done. If you have any sort of snoring or breathing difficulties, undiagnosed sleep apnea can degrade your entire body and system. Learn simple breathing techniques to regulate stress or reset your nervous system. Even a few minutes of study in this area can make a difference. For example, look up double breathing. Pay attention to burnout signals. If something feels off consistently, don't ignore it, adjust. Don't push through blindly. Section 7, Health Awareness, Monitoring, and Habit Change. This section is about awareness, not obsession. There is a critical difference. Have a basic awareness of your health. Get routine checkups and labs done. Track simple things like weight, energy levels, or anything else relevant to your situation. Even if you use telemedicine to save money, communicate any health concerns early before they turn into something bigger. This is not about obsession. It's about awareness. Small issues caught early may stay small. If you have any habits you want to quit, like smoking, vaping, or similar, speak to your physician about it. Seek out a group that helps with that specific issue so you're not doing it alone. Also, investigate neuro-linguistic programming techniques or similar behavior methods that can help you reframe or change those habits over time. If you want to quit biting your fingernails, imagine grime and disgusting stuff under your fingernails every time you move it towards your mouth. Section 8. Financial discipline and career strategy. This section is about money and work, and these are areas where no one handed me a playbook either. These protocols are what I wish someone had told me early on. Set up some form of automatic deduction from your pay for investment, as simple or as advanced as you like. Even $20 a month into something like Stash or similar is a start. Clarify with any job or position whether you're allowed to do side work, independent projects, or own a business outside of the job so that you can have multiple sources of revenue. If you're an owner or a manager, do not discriminate against employees who want to build something outside of work, as long as it doesn't contradict or interfere with their responsibilities. Start an LLC or corporation for side work or projects to formalize it. Learn to use QuickBooks Online or similar. Keep personal and business accounts separate and stay on top of taxes. If invited into a partnership, consider structuring it as a joint venture, as two LLCs contracting with each other. If you do enter into a partnership, try to avoid minority partner status or at least ensure agreements are clearly written to protect equity distributions, tax obligations, including K-1 related tax draws. Section 9, Education, Learning, and Skill Building. This section is about investing in yourself. And for a neurodivergent person, traditional education wasn't always built for us, but learning never has to stop. These protocols are about finding the paths that actually work for you. If you have not completed a degree, consider going back to school. The University of the People is a very powerful accredited option that avoids debt, has generous transfer policies, and allows many people to finish quickly at a low cost while connecting with a global student base. Use Coursera to take courses in bookkeeping, digital marketing and advertising, IT security, and AI. These skills are universally beneficial regardless of your field. If you are an employer, offer tuition assistance even in small amounts. When people improve themselves, they improve their role in your entire organization. Invest in training your memory through books, videos, or programs like the Mega Memory series. Check YouTube. There are entire communities built around improving memory and recall. Section 10, Personal Philosophy and Internal Alignment. This section is the foundation that everything else sits on. You can have all the protocols in the world, but if you don't know what you believe and why, the system has no center. Sit down and write out your core ethical, religious, political, and moral beliefs in detail. This helps you clarify your thinking, avoid contradictions, and gives you a record to reflect on throughout your life. Every morning, before you even open your eyes, try to think of the word gratitude and meditate on it. If something is the first thing that you think about in the morning or the last thing at night, work to improve that situation, automate it, or mitigate the risk from it. Your brain is signaling that it matters. Section 11, Growth, Exploration, Life Experience, and Justice. This is the last section and is the one for me that holds all the others together, because systems without purpose are just machinery. This section is about my purpose. Take the opportunity to travel whenever you can, as long as it doesn't harm you financially. Write down a list of 10 things you want to accomplish in your life. Writing down a list of 10 things you want to accomplish is the most important physical action in space you can take coming out of this video or presentation. Make it real. Put it on paper. These should be realistic, but push your limits. It doesn't have to be probable, but it should at least be possible. Once you have this list, look at it and ask yourself in your mind's eye, what next physical action in space needs to occur for even one of these to begin? Then begin to take that action. Be hyper-conscious of justice. Support organizations like the Innocence Project and take the time to understand why they exist. Spend time reflecting on Letter from a Birmingham Jail and the idea that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. If you use the understanding to protect the beliefs and lives of the people you don't necessarily agree with or people you may see as being on the fringes of society, then you are also protecting your own rights at the same time by protecting the most vulnerable. Nobody handed me a manual, so I wrote this one. Take what fits, leave what doesn't, but please take something with you. This has been the Operating System, Protocols for Neurodivergent Coping. This is Empathy on Wheels. Remember to live each day with gratitude and be safe.